any big takeaways, man?
The big two things for me is just like the Pistons still on top of the East on an 11 game winning streak. A couple like most of this winning streak we haven't had. Actually, I don't think for any single game in this winning streak we've had like our entire starting lineup. And then we just got Cade back last game. Before that, he was out for like 3 or 4 games.
Right.
And also a bunch of other starters were out. The starting lineup that we had was unrecognizable, and we were still winning games. So the depth is looking really nice. This guy Dennis Jenkins is coming out of nowhere, looking really good. On a two-way contract doing niggas up. So yeah, I'm really excited. It's been a long time since both the Pistons and the Lions. Even though the Lions have, not been amazing this year, it's been a long time since we've had both of those teams be good. And then the other thing is really just like the bottom is bottoming right now in the NBA. Brooklyn is 2-12, Washington is 1-12, India, at least earlier in the day. There have been some games tonight, so I haven't been able to check on that. But as of earlier today, Indiana's 1-12, New Orleans 1-12. Uh,
Pacers won
I'm
today.
sorry, no, New Orleans 2-12, Sacramento's 3-11. Like the bad teams are really, really bad this year. Um, so it'll be interesting to see how, this lottery ends up shaking out. But another team that's on that cusp is the Clippers. And everybody's been talking about that because OKC has their pick. So if the Clippers end up being really terrible this year too, exactly, then the OKC is about to get, and this is a really good draft class too. So yeah,
Yo, I forgot, dog. That's crazy. It might fuck around and have a top five pick, dog.
yeah.
Oh my God. Damn. No, I have to agree with you, man. Like I said, like obviously with Detroit, it's a smaller market team. So I'm very proud and happy for you and happy for the city to see everything that's kind of has transpired lately as well too. I ain't know Durant could move. What's his name? Jalen Durant. I ain't know that motherfucker could move like that.
I didn't, he's been cool, the past couple of years since we drafted him, but I didn't expect this. I did not
It's
expect
like
this.
his like Mobley or like Bam leap. You know what I'm saying? So
Mobley never made that's just something I want to, because there's been a lot of like people rehashing Cade's draft class and saying, that if they did a redraft, Mobley would have went number one instead of Cade. First of all, no, absolutely not. Mobley is not a He is a great, great piece when you have other great pieces around him. He is not the cornerstone of a franchise, in my opinion. But then also on top of that, to me, he hasn't made any like, he went from like 15 points a game to like 18 or 19 points a game. Like there hasn't been, and I know like, there's more than just the stats, but to me, he's been just a very similar player since like year 2 or 3. Now that's a really good player, but I just
Mhm.
really feel like I haven't seen any giant leap from Evan Mobley. Like he's just kind of been Evan Mobley these past couple of years.
Yeah, I mean, that's also true. That's definitely true. Obviously, when he was there, it was just kind of him and Garland, and then you got another player in the mix, new coach in the mix. So their style has definitely been a little bit different with the added depth as well too. It does seem like he's kind of been at that consistent, at least from a number standpoint, the past 2 years or so. But I think he did take a decent leap, like I said, from his first year moving on up as well too. And like you said, everything the way in which he plays, like the things that don't show up in a box sheet, those are things that kind of go unnoticed. But right now, I mean, the way Durant's playing right now, dog, we might have some conversations with who's that guy, with players that basically essentially play his position, like I said, with the Bam Adebayos of the world and with Evan Mobley. So y'all looking good. I'm kind of tweaking. The way the East is messed up right now, dog, and how I was texting you the other day or tagged you on Instagram, I was like, bro, that Devin Booker joint, if you ain't happy there. y'all could be in win now mode. You know what I'm saying? So why not go ahead and swing for the home run and try to get Devin Booker? That'll be tough, dog.
But
Shoot.
the Suns are winning right now. They have a decent record, so I don't think they're gonna get rid of him.
Yeah, they winning right now, but I feel like I feel like they're gonna eventually peak. So we'll see. But man, because that was basically like the complimentary piece that I wanted. Obviously, Bradley Beal's not good anymore, but his style of play being a three-level scorer is what I always wanted or envisioned, especially like seeing you guys take over last year. What I wanted, beside Kate Cunningham. Obviously, you guys are about to get Jaden Ivey back, so we'll see how that works. Because they did actually look pretty good together on the floor before he got hurt last year. So I'm curious to see how he gets integrated in the system and if that kind of takes away. But shoot, man, y'all been winning without him. Y'all been making all the right moves. So if y'all want to make a little splash, man, go ahead and do that. You know what I'm saying? I'll fuck with it. Besides from that, Rockets are taking off, winning the last 10 of their 11 games, so that's pretty cool. Seems like KD is the ultimate plug and play player. Ime Udoka, definitely has some tricks up his sleeve, and Reece Shepard's actually looking like an NBA player now, so that's been pretty good. It looks like it's a colli I know it's early, but we're gonna talk about LeBron later and these other teams, but it just looks like it's depending on health, obviously being number one and seeding, it just seems like it's a collision course set for Denver OKC rematch obviously last year's the second round, but I feel like it's a collision course set for them going to the Western Conference Finals. Like I think you have that tier one with those two, and then the other teams are still trying to play catch up or don't have the pieces that they need. But I think those two teams in the Western Conference and even the way the Eastern Conference is built, like it's gonna go through those two teams. And last but not least, I'm pretty upset with, the amount of injuries that are kind of have transpired and that are ongoing from last season. Like I looked at a post today from ESPN and NBA on ESPN. Like, take a look at all these players that are either nursing an injury from last season or banged up right now. Kyrie ACL, Anthony Davis calf, Giannis groin, Jalen Brunson ankle, Wemby, which we're about to talk about right after this, calf. And then you also got what's his name, Stephon Castle, a strain as well too. Joel Embiid knee, Jason Tatum Achilles, Ja Morant calf, Jalen Williams wrist, Kawhi Leonard ankle, Damian Lillard Achilles, Trae Young knee, Paolo groin, Tyrese Achilles, Bam toe, Drew Holiday calf, Demonis Sabonis knee, Dejounte Murray's Achilles, Tyler Hero ankle. Zion just came back today, but hamstring. Like I don't know what's going on. I feel like I ain't really see these much injuries like in the modern era that like I saw growing up and even just a couple of years ago. Like, is it just the amount of practice? Is motherfuckers tissue just weak now? Like, what do you think it is?
I mean, it's definitely not the practice. Are you talking about like that they need to practice more?
No, like what do you attribute to these like
I would say it's definitely not they don't practice nearly as much as they used to. So it's definitely not something like that. But I think I think what I've been seeing from a lot of people is just, the pace of this game is the fastest it's ever been. You got people running up and down the court all the time, and also just like the moves that people are doing are very herky jerky. And a lot of these things are even more strenuous on people in bigger bodies. So you have Wimby, like it's cool seeing him play like a guard. But by doing that, he's putting a lot more stress on his body and a lot of these other guys as well. Paulo also is trying to do a lot of guard stuff. Positions used to be very well defined. Now we're in a position this era, so everyone wants to do everything. And I just don't know if the human body is internally at that point. Clearly, like we're at a point where people are able to do those things, but are you able to do those things for a long period of time? And it's a lot of these like soft tissue injuries, like the ACLs aside, all these other smaller injuries have just seemed a lot more prevalent, and the pace only continues to go up. It really feels like. So, I think it could be a lot of those things, but we'll see if because again, I think this year has kind of been the worst. So we'll see if this is like a trend or if maybe it's just ended up being this year or something like that. But it's crazy because it's like it sucks, but also it's like it's still been a lot of really fun and entertaining games. And it also shows how the league is in a really good place, that there's still a lot of like young, exciting players. Even the fact that like LeBron, and his was definitely some old people shit. It was like sciatica or something. But even with him just making his debut last night, it's like I honestly I didn't feel the void. You know, like it was enough Jokic, Luka, it was enough other people, and that's just two, but it was enough other people playing that are really good that I wasn't sitting there like, damn, I'm missing Brown playing right now.
Yeah, credit to the talent pool in the NBA is definitely at its height. So I agree with you on that.